Ready under lights, under action, under camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Let's go, bub. Rookie.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
Nothing moves the blob. Let's go, bub.
All right, kill music, and here we go. So we are live again, complete with a new layout this time, and I've decided to throw some information up there, so in case anybody has not seen the game for a bit, or are just stopping by and wants to find out where we're at, that information is there available to them.
Awesome.
So, while we are down one player, that is okay. Derek is off in the lands of Montana, enjoying himself, as he so put it. And we are picking up at the dinner that time forgot. With everybody around the table, having dinner with Reichshield. So as a brief recap, the team has managed to get themselves into New Prussia. They've examined the city to find out what it's all about. They've seen some things. They've got questions, and then some bombshells were dropped regarding some information that they thought they had right, which they didn't. Some information that they knew that they had, but they were unexpecting that it to be so forthgiving, and that there is a relationship that they did not expect. Bum, bum, bum.
Maintain position.
Okay, so with that being said, we pick back up. Everybody is still gathered around the table. Dinner and drinks, of course, are being provided. There's more of what has been available previously to you from last game, if you are so inclined to continue to partake, should you need it. And for a brief word from our sponsor, Dr. Pepper.
You should taste the 23 flavors.
Yeah, I know. So what he ends up doing is he motions to one of his servants to bring out another round. This time it's not like a full meal. Should anybody be so inclined, but they're just like small little palate cleansers, finger foods. Brought out on some small trays, should anybody want any. And of course, refills on drinks, should anybody want that as well.
He will eat the courses of meals as they come out, but he's not taking like seconds or thirds.
Okay.
Carmen is mostly just picking at it. Just obviously preoccupied.
With thoughts.
Joe's doing pretty much the same thing, kind of picking at it.
Okay.
Is Hyperion given anything other than the like electrolyte solution, or is that like is he given a digital burger or something?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know what's going on.
No. Yeah, you've just got the drink. Obviously, they are aware that you do not have processes that would allow you to consume, let alone expel, regular food and drink. So, as you request a refill, they provide it to you. And same with Ixion, who is still obviously currently here, although he's not here with us out of character.
He's being a grumpy pants and being quiet.
Okay.
But he stormed off in a temper tantrum.
The people who are serving us, I'm assuming they're all human, like wait staff and all of that, not superpowered, or is it obvious?
That is a great question. At least one of them have some sort of visible, non-human functioning parts. Let's put it that way. We don't want to say disability or marks or anything of that nature that might indicate that they are less than. But let's just say they would not be able to pass as human.
Okay.
So as more drinks or food has been brought out, and he notes that there is a lull in the conversation as others are either being quiet or clearly have a lot on their minds. He looks to everyone there and he says, are there no other questions that any of you wish to ask?
Besides getting into a longer and much more in-depth conversation about how you might treat the non-empowered people in your nation, there's not much more to discuss. Unless you happen to know where Captain Murder is, so we can follow up with his attempted murder.
He snickers, but he shakes his head. No, I do not walk in those circles, and I keep my distance from them. Although I have provided you suggestions as to where you might look.
I wonder, why is it that you no longer walk in those circles, as you say?
Well, I thought that would be rather obvious. They look to a master Aryan race. I do not see Aryan as a master race.
You were a main proponent and main combatant in the Axis forces in World War II. And of course, one of their main aims was to propagate the Aryan race and attempt to ensure that it succeeded.
That is correct.
Why the change beyond what you mentioned with regard to your wife and Adolf Hitler?
Oh, well, very well then. It became rather obvious that for political expedience, let's just call them non-powered individuals, since there is a nomenclature issue afoot. But those who lack power seem to want to command those with it, often for their own personal gains, such as Adolf Hitler's Lebensborn.
Understandable. It just seems that you, with the amount of power you have innately, could have chosen which side to be on, and you must have had a specific reason to choose the Axis.
I grew up in Germany. It was
So it
not
was simply,
it was not hard to buy into the propaganda at first.
I see. One other question, if I may, with regard to Dr. Rostenkowski. You had
Mhm.
mentioned that she had worked for you. Uh, I wonder, do you know, or are you aware of at least how she actually passed away?
That I do not. As I'm certain you are aware, she made her way to the United States. I assisted her with her safe passage once her work here was done. This was
See,
pre-New Prussia, of course. This was in the working stages. And at that point in time, she wished to divest herself of Europe, which I completely understand why. And she made her way, like many scientists were wont to do, to the United States. From my understanding, she made a middling success within their scientific community. Let's just say, your creation was not at the forefront of what the United States was looking for. Obviously, they were looking for atomic specialists.
interesting.
And should you wish to ask, I'm certain it would come up. No, she was not with the Nazi Party.
It's good to know. Hmm. You had also mentioned earlier that you, of course, don't trust us enough, at least at this stage, to at least help you with acquiring information from Ixion's ship. That way it could be expedited, we could receive it. Would there be some way to earn your trust?
That is an interesting question, given the guile that you've used to come into my country. Um, let us just say this is turning the first page, your invitation here. It was as much as a test as it was an invitation.
Makes sense. Our guile, of course, was because of your reputation.
I completely understand it, and I do not begrudge any of you such a stance. And you will also note that despite my pro-deviant stance, I have made no such qualms or issues for one such as you who are clearly not deviant, or for that matter, Shone or Ixion.
Is that because we simply possess powers?
No, that is not. That is out of respect for that's what you've come.
See.
The individual who you are indicating is your father, be it by creation or perhaps even by accidental circumstance.
I have questions, but I think I'd like to take a look at the data that you've compiled before asking.
And what data would this be? The information from the communications of the ship?
No, the data that you've compiled about my mother.
Yes. Understandable. And as you ask that, someone else comes walking back up and whispers in his ear. And he says, then bring the plans for that as well. They're going to need it. And then the individual bows and walks back off.
Plans for what?
Transcribing the communications that your brother Ixion has requested. The information is too large in the form that is currently in for the standard access media of the day. So I am preparing some plans for a device that you should be able to create. It shouldn't be very difficult at all. And it will register that particular media. So it's a device to read the disc that it's going to be put on. In essence, he's giving you DVDs.
Okay.
A few years early.
Right. Cool. Much obliged, Jurgen.
Or I should say like Blu-ray as opposed to, the HD DVD Blu-ray thing as opposed to DVD. So it's quite all right. It's I was concerned given the volume of the data that it would not transcribe correctly to a compact disc.
Is
Also, it
let's
would
see.
be a DVD. DVDs didn't come out till 96.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. What was their name? Was it is Veshta with us right now? Because like Bishuterin is somewhere else, but
He's in and out.
okay.
From what you can tell, he seems to only come in when there's like something important or he's specifically called.
Okay.
Otherwise, he doesn't really hang around.
Okay. So it's just the Legacy and Reich Shield who are
Yes.
eating at the table. Okay.
As well as some servants that are there.
Okay.
So, be that as it may, he sets the napkin down at this point. He says, you are free to return to your hotel rooms whenever you see fit. We will have a car come around and drive you back. I would urge you to decide your plans soon. There are elements in and around the area that monitor this particular country for reasons I'm certain you will understand why. And should your identities get leaked out for any reasons, I do not wish an international incident on your behalf. I don't particularly care.
Well,
He says, however, should any of you ever need the assistance, there is always a place for you here, be you a deviant or not.
Much obliged. Hyperion finishes his drink.
Okay.
You want to take the car or do that?
Yeah. You'll get up and he'll politely excuse himself and he'll go out to the car.
Okay.
Sean will follow.
Same, but I'm gonna kind of linger at that portrait again.
Okay. So as you linger, he says, "Carmen, may I have a word with you before you leave?"
I'll look back at the others and then hesitate for a second and then come with him.
Okay. So he just walks to you like just adjacent from the dining room. It's just a balcony that kind of overlooks the city itself. And he says, "I honored your mother's wish. I remained out of your life as she so sought. But as fate has now brought you to my doorstep, I would like to have a relationship with you to some degree. But I leave that in your hands as to how you wish to proceed. I understand I have a reputation, and this would not be seemly of you."
I have a lot to think about from the night's events. I will give it some consideration.
I understand. I merely wish to make my intentions known.
Thank you.
Once that's done, he just motions, and gets the door for you.
It was a very nice dinner.
Be sure to tell your family I appreciated their company, despite the initial terse nature.
Racist!
And then I will exit
Stage
the car.
left.
Yes.
Just thinking that.
Yep. Exit. Stage left.
He really doesn't yell that out or anything like that.
No, I know.
What does he
So
want?
you get down to, everybody gets down to the limousine. There was the servants and guards make sure that you get into the vehicle safely. They are clearly, keeping eyes out and whatnot. They are actually very focused on the fact that you get in the vehicle and that you leave safely. No one is staring you down as if, are you going to do something? Like, they are acting on orders to ensure your safety.
What did he want?
He wants to be my grandfather.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know what to think about any of this. Honestly, I don't know. It's a lot.
Well, I'm here for you if you need it.
We are all here for you.
I'm going to reach over and squeeze her hand.
And I'm very eager to find out what my previous employer had to do with my mother's death.
It was
And
Shadestone, correct?
right. And who might be behind that, and whether how much they know about me, whether they know about Electrum. All of that.
You think we'll ever find him?
I'm beginning to wonder whether we want to.
Why do you say that?
I just think there's a lot that doesn't make sense. And, maybe we do need to find him because I don't know otherwise how we would get any of the answers.
I definitely want to find him because I have my own question.
He, in general, has a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
While you guys may see him as merely someone who was a philanderous prick, more than likely that's not his intention. We can assume a few things about him that go a little bit beyond what we already know. He probably has a much longer lifespan than any of us on Earth, considering he's traveled from planet to planet, or at least he has some way to do faster than light travel. Because of that, we can assume that the planets he visits are no mere coincidence.
Think he knows we're all here?
That I don't know.
Guess
I
that
don't know if he even cares. A lot like what Reichshield has said is not too far off. When you're at a certain power level, you don't worry about what common folks think, especially if you can just snap and solve the problem.
Yeah, but we're not common folk.
But there's 6 billion people on the planet right now who might be considered common?
He did fight to protect them.
Yes, and nobody ever in the military hasn't done something that would be considered evil in any other circumstances to protect others and say it's the right thing to do.
Well, I've
Granted, that's a
operated
philosophical point, but
I've operated since finding out about the rest of you um under the idea that this is no coincidence, that it's not simply sowing wild oats.
I don't think it is
There's
either.
that there was some plan.
So you're saying that he purposely sought out my mother?
If
That's
only your
that's
mother.
my guess.
Well, to my knowledge, I don't have any siblings where I come from.
And in the military, that's the best way to phrase it, to my knowledge.
I would also guess that he's probably not Earthside.
No. The ability to procreate with different creatures is not something any other earthbound creature really has to any degree. And by the way, the Liger and the Tygon has not been created yet.
Liger.
They were sterile anyway, right?
Yeah, they're sterile. The catch is you're not going to see a dog suddenly be able to breed with the cat and get some type of jackal type of creature. More than likely there's a large degree of compatibility, and that is puts on other assumptions that maybe his DNA is mutatable. So I don't think he is terrestrial. I think he's extraterrestrial.
Maybe a shapeshifter type?
I don't know about shapeshifter, but he has to have some type of flexible DNA to be able to breed with multiple species and races without any ill-do effect.
I'm gonna look over at Ixion.
Yeah, I was always curious how he did with Exion mother.
I have a few ideas,
So,
but
I
it's
mean, I can't really play Ixion, but at best he would shrug. It's lost on him too.
I feel like he would be a little bit offended at trying to square this circle again.
since we don't know a lot about Ixion's species, we can make a few assumptions about mutatable DNA. And by the way, I'm pulling it back up right now as soon as Adobe finish pulling up, but I do believe I have the genetics background. If it stops being fussy.
You mean the talent?
Yeah, the talent genetics.
Let's take a look. You may.
I do.
You sure do. And sleight of hand.
And then I added on a whole bunch of other stuff.
You'll need to get me your character sheet.
I'll send it back over to you right now.
We obviously all have our different feelings and thoughts and ideas regarding Electrum. But it's quite clear we don't have enough information to continue pursuing that goal of determining where he is, who he is really, what he is, and what his intentions are. I believe we should stay focused on being the legacy, not necessarily his, but legacy of superheroism, something that's sorely needed now.
And I do agree with that. For Electrum, we are going to have to tackle that issue whenever it comes up. And I don't know when that will come up.
I'm curious. Do you consider Meredith your mother?
No.
Not talking to Hyperion.
Oh.
I don't consider Meredith my mother. I have been wondering whether I should consider Electrum or Dr. Rostenkowski parents or simply developers, manufacturers. I've simply been focusing on tasks at hand. Why do you ask?
My own curiosity. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that you guys and
You're kind
I
of
never
breaking up
knew.
occasionally, so you'll need to pull that microphone closer.
It's pretty much out of my own curiosity. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around all of you because I didn't even know you guys existed. And I don't know how much my mother knew.
And until Miss McCall came around, we didn't have any idea about each other either.
True.
Electrum was present in my childhood, but only very intermittently. He never lived with my mother and myself as far as I can recall. He would just show up every now and then. We didn't really have a relationship.
Did you know him as Electrum or as his secret identity?
I knew him as Todd Summers.
Am I allowed to make a joke about his cousin or Uncle Scott?
They don't exist.
Is Electrum known to have a is his identity known?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, his identity was secret.
Okay. It's hard to keep all these straight without the trading cards.
Can't remember. Did you? Did he stay for a little while Sean was young and
Yeah.
then left? Okay.
Mhm.
She has some memory of. I mean,
He was
I have memories of our father. They were good memories till just left.
How long ago did you say that was? How,
I don't remember, Jerome.
You would have been really young.
but like how old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah. Aren't you like super old?
Yeah, no. I would be considered about 18 of human years.
Oh, okay. So it's not like doing the math and he was like in your life 2200 years ago or something
Right.
like that.
No,
Okay.
I'm not that old.
Okay.
Though there are some that are. My mother was around when they were walking upon Egypt. I just
Mark, Mark, how old are you?
And now I have to actually look that up. How old am I? Oh, yeah. Approximately 23 years.
Hmm.
Specifically, you last saw your father shown when you were 3.
okay.
I'm 24, and besides knocking out my mother, I do not know if he was had an impact on my life. It is not a subject I plan to broach with my real father, not my biological donor.
From what I can remember, he was a good father. I just didn't understand why he left. I guess go make others.
So, what do we do now? How long do we stay here?
And the
What
car
Well,
car
what
comes
do
to a
we do
stop out
back?
front of the hotel.
thank you, sir. He'll get out and hold the door for everybody.
Get out to.
Yep.
Yeah,
Slide out.
get out and head up to the rooms.
Okay.
Have,
Once we
have
get
we
it, once
established sorry, have we established like one person's room as like the place that we always congregate?
Mark.
Mark's room?
Yeah, we can go to my
Okay,
room.
yeah.
Sure.
I'm gonna stop in her room and get out of the gown and everything. Get into comfortable clothes and then
Okay.
head over to Mark's.
yeah, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to change into much more comfortable clothing,
Okay.
and then meet back up with everybody else.
I mean, I guess if you guys are changing, then I'll go ahead and change too.
And so will I.
But you keep the shoes on, right?
Oh, this character doesn't care about
I know, I'm
Yeah.
shoes.
kidding.
She's
Somebody
all
would.
sciencey. Not that sciencey people can't care about shoes, but
Yeah.
mine doesn't.
Joan does. She's keeping the shoes.
When we get back together, um, Mark, do you have enough to at least put out a proposal on if you'd like to move the company here or if you want to hold off for now? Because I've gotten all the data I need about the water, which
What
was our stated purpose.
have you found anything of interest with regard to that?
No, it's amazingly pure so far. I'm gonna have to finish doing the studies later. The labs are already being sent back with duplicates being sent to his own labs because I am sure he doesn't trust my results.
Of course. Well,
And more than likely, I probably laid a few harsh words that he doesn't like on him tonight. And that's saying it the nice way.
Understandable.
All the same, I think he expected nothing different.
Oh, I think he expected a fight. I would not have been surprised if there were guards behind the doors waiting for us to start a tuffle.
I get the idea that he was not particularly afraid of us.
He has
Yeah.
little reason to be. Quite frankly, if we were to have attempted to engage him, I'd estimate there is a greater than 95% chance we would have lost, no matter what our strategy would have been.
Agreed. I do not think we had a chance in that fight. Even under the best circumstances, I was able to put him to sleep. We were able to get down to find out where the ship is, get down there. As far as we know, that ship is not in one piece right now, and all we've done is exposed ourselves to a political backfire and harmed the name of ourselves, the name of Quantum Unlimited, and any other diplomatic missions that might be attempted here. It's why I tried to calm down Ixion. That way we didn't create a national incident over something that it seems like it's going to resolve itself. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too harsh of a situation with that. And with him in control, there's nothing we can do.
I understood his anger about finding, what they were doing with the ship. She also got to remember, just found out that his entire world is gone.
Yes. He is now part of an endangered species.
Yeah.
And since we already know that there's life outside this world, the human race is probably an endangered species compared to species that can travel from planet to planet. If we're limited to only one.
We are at a disadvantage.
With that
Especially
said, getting back to Lightbringer's question, if you have enough to make a decision and make it a public decision, I've got the data I need for this. We could probably leave either tomorrow or the day after. We still have to make up with Meredith, at least in the point that way we're not dealing with another combative person against our goals.
of
Actually,
course.
really like to talk to her about all of this.
The mistake was an innocent mistake. She is not beyond reason.
It will be
Although,
difficult to bring her back to reason, but perhaps enough time has passed where she would be willing to communicate.
I'm sure
all
she's
we
very
got to do is tell her that the Electrum's computer went sentient. That should be enough to satisfy her on what happened.
I am kind of curious to see what he's been up to since we left.
True. Well, as far as Quantum Unlimited is concerned, I believe it may actually be prudent not to establish a location here.
Would you agree that at least for the short term until the nation becomes a bit more established and shows rights for all of its citizens, that it may not be the best place?
I would say so. If our company indicated that we were all right with the living conditions of genetically typical human beings in New Prussia, that would obviously look bad for everyone involved.
Yeah, that bothers.
At the same time, I believe I've learned much from New Prussia itself and the way that Jurgen actually uses his tribalism to make this country as efficient as it is. It's extremely clear now that gathering the powers of superpowered beings can be an incredible boon to this entire planet, no matter who has powers or not.
Is that something that we can demonstrate and
Right now, we lack the might to take down this nation.
True. I
I
don't
would
believe we
s-
need to take it down, but we can compete.
I
I
mean,
would
I
yes.
like the idea behind it because there are many that can't be out in society, and this does provide them sanctuary and able to live like themselves. But my concern was, what's he gonna do with all again, come back forming an army.
Even if, and this is merely my opinion, even if he is completely benign and 100% honest with his intentions, where he is merely looking to create a nations for empowered people to have a safe haven, he still treats the people who are not empowered as sub himself.
I mean,
And that
what
is
if
no different than what the Third Reich was doing.
yeah, and what's gonna stop him from doing accomplishing what Hitler did not?
And you have a very good point there. However, even for his abilities, I doubt he can eliminate 6 billion people as quickly as he wants to. And
He
even then,
wouldn't have to. He would just have to conquer one at a time, and they would be I
I
can't
am
you know, helpless to even stop them.
the Navy SEALs, which is an elite fighting force in the United States, has a very interesting way of describing this. I know a few of those old boys myself. He says there's a reason he doesn't get into bar fights. He doesn't know how many of the bouncers it's going to take to kick his ass, but he knows that they're going to use every last one to do it. The honest truth is that empowered people are significantly outnumbered, and all it takes is a large number of people throwing a single punch. If 1,000 people were to come up to you right now and fight you, how many times could you teleport before you suddenly lost the ability to do so, or all of a sudden you just don't have the energy to make the next teleport? The reason he's not
Just
going on any type of wars is because he lacks the military might to do so.
might be surprised. Your guys' history tends to repeat itself.
Absolutely, it does. And he is very much still a racist in his mindset. However,
And didn't you
I,
say that he was part of World War II? Was he part of Hitler's group?
from what I understand, he was very much supportive of the idea. And he even said as much towards the end of dinner. He had a change of heart on who he found to be superior, essentially. Despite the way he phrased it, that's what he meant. He no longer saw white people from the Caucasus Mountains as superior. What he saw as superior is folks like us who are empowered and who can change the world with our abilities. Just because he no longer saw white people does not mean he no longer saw a superior race. And I'm sorry to be talking so harshly about your father like that, Brittany.
Grandfather?
Grandfather, I sorry. But it is the truth. More than likely, he does see empowered people as superior to non-empowered people. But the reality is there are 6 billion of them, and there's probably what, a million of us at most.
Look how many were in Europe and how many Hitler had. still was able to conquer much.
And his numbers don't even compete to what Stalin did. Stalin killed, I believe, 15 million of his own people by just letting them starve.
I just think that we need to keep an eye on this.
Absolutely. And I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
I don't trust him.
Agreed. I trust him about as far as I can throw him, and that's across the room.
And I would hate for, if thinking world domination.
I don't think he's going to go for world domination.
Every bad guy goes for world domination.
I don't think he's a bad guy. He's a racist, absolutely. But I don't think he sees himself as a bad guy. I think what he sees himself as doing is creating a place, a safe haven, a sanctuary, whatever phrasing you want to use, where just empowered people can go to be safe. Now, whether or not his actions doing that are evil is a completely different question. The ends never justify the means.
He seems to be primarily not just a racist, but accurately a tribalist. He is not against others for some other reason. He has put in his lot with those who are like him, have the mutation that provides powers. It seems to be who he's identified with and will protect.
To be honest, I don't think he's a hateful person. I think he's indifferent to anyone who's not of this superior race. That is my opinion on the matter. I think he's a benign tumor that's just going to sit here and grow. Eventually, if he ever does get aspirations of world domination, more than likely by that point, we'll be much stronger, and there are other superhero groups that can probably fight him toe-to-toe. The reason other nations aren't taking any effect is because a nation of superpowered people, even a small group, are still quite potent. Like I was saying earlier, 1,000 people fighting just one of us, the 1,000 might win, but it's going to be costly for them. And that's how that war would go no matter what. No matter what happens, it's going to be costly for both sides, and no army right now is going to want to deal with that.
If something happened to Reichshield and his staff, what would that mean for the rest of this country? What would that mean for the rest of these people?
Somebody else would step up, take control.
And they may not be as I'll use the word generous here because I think it's the best one. They might not be as generous as Reichshield is, and they may want to go on a superiority tear throughout the world. I do not like Reichshield. I do not like what he has set up here, but I at least understand it.
How long are we going to stay here?
We should leave either tomorrow or the day after. We've done what we've come to do on the publicity front. If we stay any longer, what's going to happen is it's going to look like we have ulterior motives, and then no one's going to be able to trust us as we proceed through on any other missions that we have to do to other nations.
I'm good for leaving tomorrow.
I don't know what else we would do here.
I would poof us back home tonight.
Or do we need to make a more public show?
It should be a public show. We came here under legal pretenses. We should leave under legal pretenses.
Agreed.
And apparently, my people are mentioning me in Twitch or in TikToks, and the truth is, I don't know who they are, so it probably means that they're bots.
Yep, bots. I've been getting that on Twitter now. Like every so often, some random woman starts following me. I'm like, "Oh, you're a bot."
Yeah, I get a lot of those on Instagram.
Yeah, I get that on Instagram now too, yeah.
we're not pulling a Superman, Man of Steel here. We're pulling much more of a Johnny Mnemonic discussing what the ethics.
No, this is straight up Professor Xavier Magneto discussion.
Yeah.
So I don't think taking him down is going to be an option, or is it going to be a wise choice? So I think we'll just have to maybe monitor. Not that there's much we can do if something does happen, but do you think there's a way that we can implement the kind of society that we see here back in Strongford?
He seems
Yes.
to be interested in fostering a relationship with you. It's very unlikely that he is going to damage that over some silliness.
At least not on purpose.
Which, if you wanted to take that hit, you could definitely begin a phone conversation with him and maybe travel back and forth every now and then and begin to talk to him about it in a philosophical point of view, like we've been doing.
But do you think it's something that is possible given the race relations in the city and in the US at large? Do you
I
think that's
think it's
something that we
I
could
think
do?
it's I think it's possible. He just has to, if he can, see that non-empowered people are not simply below him.
Oh no,
Not necessarily his equals.
I'm not talking about Reichshield, I'm talking about SPBs in Strongford.
Attempting to mimic the environment where we live that matches the environment here in New Prussia, you mean?
Creating a safe hold in US for
Finding a way that we can use people with
That
powers to the advantage or to the betterment of all
I'm not against that.
on a societal level. Do you think that's something that's possible?
I think it's possible. Just figuring out how to do it. Challenge.
We will need to talk to Ms. McCall. That would be her area of expertise.
Agreed.
I
When
mean,
we
not,
get back, sorry, go ahead, Brittany.
I would really like to see, obviously, not everybody with powers is combat oriented, nor do they need to be. We can find a way to have them use their powers productively in a non-combat situation,
Like your roommate.
right?
It's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why we are developing that division in Quantum Unlimited to provide those opportunities to more superpowered beings who don't wish to use their abilities for combat only.
I would definitely like to um, somehow advertise and support the idea that combat is not the only thing that these powers are good for. To
Absolutely.
show them that there's another way.
It will take a social engineering tactic and program.
Well,
I think
and I think it would help because then the non-supers could actually see that we're not all about combat fighting. We're, they're not to be feared.
I'm gonna go ahead and head off to my bed. We should you may have to call the airport tomorrow, first thing tomorrow morning, or do it this evening, so we can get the travel arrangements made, Dale.
we'll arrange it. Everyone get enough rest. We'll have a long flight tomorrow.
Good night,
And
guys.
he'll go back and he's going to take a nice long shower, and he's going to let the water go through his gills
Okay.
because he feels dirty.
All right.
Carmen's gonna stare at the ceiling for a while and probably eventually go to sleep.
Okay. Makes sense.
To sleep the moment her head hit pillow.
Poof.
Mm-hmm.
And Hyperion will like call and make sure that we'll be able to leave tomorrow if like, or as soon as possible if tomorrow isn't available.
Yep. Don't you've got everything arranged for your flight tomorrow. It's not a problem, so we can skip over that part of it. Like you guys collect your luggage, the
I
tourism
kept the
van.
shoes.
Oh yeah, that's fine. The tourism van comes around and shuttle takes you to the airport where you guys are flown to the Ukraine. And then from there, you are flown out to, well, you're flown to the Ukraine, then flown over to London, or like actually probably like France, and then skips on over across the pond back on over to the United States. So long flight, couple transitions, but you guys, do eventually make it back.
I'm glad we're back.
Another day rolls around, from jet lag and trying to get prepared and whatnot. You're all back at your respective living places, which I think only Carmen has.
I have actually a proper apartment.
Okay.
When he gets back to his apartment the morning after, when he wakes up post jet lag, he's gonna call Meredith.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get to you in just a second. So Carmen, when you like the whole trip was kind of a blur because of all the jet lag and the couple transfers. It's the same for most of you, with the exception of probably Mark. His android brain could handle it. But you eventually like wake up and you wake up to the scent of like coffee and some breakfast being made and whatnot. Probably your roommate getting ready first thing in the morning.
Did she see me come in
No.
the other night?
Oh no.
I think I'm gonna take my time. Unless the others call, I'm gonna take my time, and I've a lot to think about.
Sure. Yeah. So as you take your time and start getting ready, there's you hear a knock at your door and some footsteps. Walk over to go get the door, and then there's some faint conversation you can't quite make out, and then
The front door?
yeah.
Oh.
And then you hear do you hear this? Hold 1 second, please. And then there's a knock at your door. Carmen, are you home? And if so, did you order a soldier?
I'm sorry, what? I'll open my door
Okay.
really quickly.
You got like all like confused, bleary eyes, and she says, "Thank God you're here." Okay. Did you order a mail order soldier or something?
I don't think I was that tired last night.
Okay, because there's somebody out front said they're reporting for duty. Where exactly did you go again?
Just to Europe.
Okay, she sounds European. How much did you drink?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
And I will go to the door.
Weird person, at the door aside. I've got breakfast if you want it. It's eggs and bakey.
Yes, that would be delightful. Let me figure this out first.
Oh yeah, you do you. I will stand around the corner and peer out from the safety of the hallway.
Okay. Fair enough. I will answer the door.
Okay. So there is a woman standing there. She is in fatigues with a beret on. She has a military duffel bag attached to her back, like slung over one shoulder. And as you answer the door, she clips her heels together and snaps you a salute. And she says, "Lieutenant Sagan, reporting for duty, ma'am."
I'm sorry. Can you explain to me what you're doing here?
And she kind of like looks around a second. She says, "Reporting for duty?
For what duty?
Oh, protection detail, ma'am."
From what?
From anything you need. I'm sorry, I don't fully understand.
Who's your employer?
Oh, I don't have an employer. I am with the New Prussian military. And she says that a little bit lower.
What are you doing in the States?
Uh,
How did you get in here?
protection detail, ma'am. Teleportation.
Oh,
Yeah, I arrived last night, but I figure it would be prudent to allow you time to like wake up and get ready. And it looks like you're a little bleary-eyed. Did I come too early?
you know what? Would you like some coffee? I think I
Um,
need to
certainly. Is there
I
someplace
need
I can set my bag down?
just in the corner over there is fine.
Okay, so she
I'll be right
steps
back.
in and just sets her bag down by the door, but is like immediately scanning the whole apartment
Um,
and of course spots spots your roommate and just kind of looks at her and she's just all you see is her eyes and she's like,
just
"Hi."
pulling a Wilson.
Yeah, she's just like, "Hi."
Um, help yourself to breakfast. I will be right back.
So she gives you a curt nod and walks over.
I'm gonna take the phone with me. Wait, our communicators work, right?
Yeah.
Then I guess I won't need a phone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to my room and close the door and page the other legacy members.
Okay.
I think the only one to get Mark, the only one that's not.
Yep. So chirp chirp.
Hyperion here. What did you need, Lightbringer?
I think I have a problem.
What is the problem?
I think our erstwhile host hired a security detail for me.
Do you have a security detail with you right now?
In the other room at my apartment.
How
She
many?
brought a duffel bag. She said she's military.
Plain clothes or in a outfit.
Did you say plain clothes?
If you didn't fully,
that
yeah, I
was
was gonna say if you didn't fully understand it in character, you didn't fully because he kind of got woke up and just kind of bleeded into the communicator.
Did you say she's in uniform or is she
She is in uniform, yes.
is she in like a recognizably New Prussia uniform? Or
Well,
just
see,
like
that's the thing about fatigues. Like you would have to get like, same thing with like the U.S. military and Irish or Britain or whatnot. They all tend to use a very similar like scheme for your military fatigues. So it's not until you get up closer and can act or have a clear shot of like the symbol or flag or something on that you would really know. So at first glance, no. People passing by probably wouldn't know.
Okay, but like theoretically, somebody that's in the military would be able to spot discrepancies, so they'd recognize their own.
Oh yeah.
But being a non-military person, I probably wouldn't look that close.
Right.
Okay. So we'll get back on the communicator. She's in fatigues.
All right. Tell her to get into civvies. She doesn't want to draw additional attention to herself.
What do I do with her?
More than likely, and you can probably ask her, she was sent by your grandfather to make sure you're safe.
Yes, that's my assumption. What do I do with her?
Ask her questions. Build a rapport.
And leave it to Mark. Just being clinical. Just.
The
Do
question
I
is,
take
can we?
her to work?
That one's on you, Dale. Or sorry, Hyperion.
That could be a risk, especially if there is something that she is also trying to determine. We have yet to find out if Jurgen wants to spy on us, but that would be a way to do so, unless this is simply a means of him showing that he wants to establish that relationship with you.
Would he not have figured that this would be a great inconvenience for our work?
Would you have accepted if he offered? Is
No.
probably what he was thinking.
I would say don't bring her to work, and obviously she will not come with us to the vein. I believe it would be up to you if you wanted her to be your bodyguard anywhere else, or if you were to order her to head back to her nation.
I wonder if she would accept that order.
You know that coffee shop on Main? The one next to the bank?
The one with the muffins?
Yeah, the one with the muffins. Meet me there in oh god. About 45 minutes and I'll be there. We can have a conversation then. That way we don't sacrifice the vein or work security.
I'm assuming
Out.
I should bring her with me. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
He gets up and he showers and shaves and
The 3 S's.
yeah. There's this very specific military phrase, and since we're trying to be
Yes.
PG-13 instead of R, I won't say what they are.
Right.
So about this time, Shone is going to make her appearance, still in her Hello Kitty pajamas and her oversized bear claw slippers.
In the vein?
Hair
Okay.
everywhere. She hasn't brushed it out. Computer, mainframe.
There's a chime.
Did you start the coffee?
Mainframe was unaware that Mainframe was on coffee detail.
You're always on coffee detail.
Prepping the coffee.
Thank you. Mark, are you still here?
I walk out from like the workshop. Yes, Shone. What did you need?
Nothing.
How did you sleep?
Like how they say it here? Log?
Excellent. I take it you heard what was happening with Lightbringer.
No.
Ah.
I didn't have my communicator on.
Well, apparently, an individual from the new Prussian military has arrived at her doorstep and acting as a bodyguard,
Why?
apparently sent by Jurgen himself as protection for her specifically. There
Dude's
may, of course,
lame.
be other reasons, but that is the stated one.
What's she supposed to do with it?
That's something that she and Freddie are going to determine in approximately 45 minutes at the coffee shop with the muffins.
Oh,
It's
tell
just
them to
because
bring
Justin
me.
doesn't.
Tell them to bring me a double chocolate muffin. She's gonna turn on her communicator. Carmen.
So
Yes.
you just clear out of your room after you got the conversation, and then just a chime out of nowhere, like in the hallway, just as Michelle was getting ready to ask you something, and you hear Carmen. She's like,
Bring me one of those
I'll hear the finger.
double.
And I'll go back in my room.
okay.
Bring me one of those
This finger.
double chocolate chunk muffins.
Are you not gonna come?
I wasn't aware that I was supposed to. I just got up and waiting for Mainframe to make the coffee. Do you want me there?
You're welcome to be there. You're as welcome as anyone else.
Okay. I'll get some coffee and me change and go over there.
All right, we'll see you there.
Okay. Mark,
Yes.
we're going for coffee and muffins.
Then I am being volunteered to attend as well.
I think we should be there for Carmen.
Very well.
We don't know what this is and why.
True. We don't know the full extent of why they're there.
Yeah, I
I
don't
suppose
trust
we'll
him.
determine it.
Okay. Mainframe,
There's a chime.
is the coffee ready?
Coffee will be ready in 5 minutes.
Gosh. We've got a 2-speed. So she's just going to go in and get changed.
Okay. Freddie. So you get done getting your prep, getting everything done. Are you still going to make your phone call, or are you going to go to the coffee shop with the muffins?
He's going to make the phone call. The reason why he said 45 minutes is so he had time to make the phone
Gotcha.
call.
Okay.
He's going to call up Meredith.
Alrighty. So the phone rings. Wrong one. And someone picks up. Sounds like her.
Good morning.
Freddie.
Miss McCall?
Why exactly are you calling?
I want to explain what happened was a misunderstanding. The computer is a smart, dumb computer, apparently. Something to do with. I'm not a computer person, but he described it as user access after the computer could start writing its own code or some garbage like that.
You're referring to the sentient that you somehow coded into the computer.
Yes. I think I don't have notes on it because I don't like to take notes like that and have it on paper, but it had something to do with the computer having access over the doors, and whenever we told it to create user access levels or something like that, it didn't apply it to all people in the database, and it basically locked out anyone else. This is a big misunderstanding. We did not intend to lock you out or take away what was yours through marriage. And I know that's probably not the right word. I just got woke up a little bit earlier than expected after coming back from New Prussia.
I'm sorry. Run that by me again.
Which part?
You went where?
We stopped in New Prussia looking for Ixion's ship.
And then there's just like dead silence.
We were trying to reach out to you about this before we left a week ago, but I could understand why you were being unresponsive.
And she's still not replying. It's probably like a very long guffaw, like she's trying to compose herself at this point. I'm trying to wrap my head around. Okay, never mind.
It was significantly more diplomatically
You made
handled.
it out. That's what's important.
We took a diplomatic approach.
Just tell me I'm right. You made it out. All right.
No violence at all either.
Most of us made it out.
Oh, good
No, I'm
Lord.
kidding.
Where are you calling me from?
My home.
All right, I will be in town tomorrow. I will catch the next flight. We'll probably need to discuss this and debrief or something. And
please
figure out what to do with your new toy in mainframe or in the vein, please.
Yes, it's what we wanted to do once we realized what happened, but we were trying to get the ship taken care of as quickly as possible. We will discuss the rest of that later. I don't want to do that over a telephone.
I understand.
Thank you for understanding. I know how it must have looked like when all of a sudden...
You're just lucky I didn't recognize the number.
I realize that. We really did want to... We do want to apologize. We are sorry about what happened.
All right. Fair enough. I will see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. And he'll hang up, and still sounding a little sleepy, he'll start heading out towards the cafe.
Okay. So the rest of you are heading towards the cafe. So you are done with your call there. And at this point, Michelle is still waiting out, in front of your door, like, with a very expected face of like, her face reads like, I am missing so much right now. Help. Like she's utterly confused.
I'll be right back in 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull her into the hallway out of earshot.
Okay.
Okay. Long story short, recently found out I am related to somebody that's kind of important. I think that's what this is about. It's very much a misunderstanding. We'll figure it out.
And the voices that came from nowhere?
Oh,
asking
that's
about muffins? What the heck was that?
It's a work meeting.
That emanated from nowhere.
Mm-hmm. It's a walkie-talkie.
Oh, and she's like looking around. You don't have one on you.
It's a very small one. Something we
fine,
built in the lab.
Just fine. Go do whatever it is you're gonna go. She just storms off to her room.
Do you want some muffins?
She slams the door.
Okay, I'll go back into the front room and I'll say, okay.
When you step back in, she stands up real quick at attention.
Okay. What's your name again?
Sagan, ma'am. Lieutenant Sagan.
Sagan.
You can actually see it spelled out on her uniform. It's Segen.
Okay, I think the first rule of this detail is you are undercover.
Of course. I apologize I just got here, ma'am.
If you wouldn't mind changing into something a little less conspicuous, we're going to take a walk to the coffee shop.
Permission to use your restroom? Okay, so she hustles over, grabs her duffel bag, opens it up real quick to get out some plain clothes.
And I'm going to chug a mug.
Okay. So she comes back out. She has some Vans sneakers, Levi jeans, like everything is name brand.
She wears a lot better clothes than I do.
And she like looks and she says, "Is this sufficient?"
That'll work. Okay.
She gets her belt and attaches it. You see that the buckle itself changes.
Changes into what?
It just changes. Like before your eyes, like it had one shape, it just changes to a different one.
Okay, second question. What all do you do?
Just a protection detail, ma'am. I am just here for your particular safety and to ensure that you and your domicile are safe.
And you said you teleport?
I teleported.
Oh, like an external.
Correct. I was led to inform that you are aware of the innervation pads that we have.
That's right.
Yeah, so I just boarded one that the science police have.
Okay, and what are your specific abilities?
Oh, she says, I specifically, I am a deviant with the ability to manipulate and generate high intensity plasma.
Okay. Good to know. Let's go take a walk. Michelle, I'm going out. I'll be back.
Okay, so she gets the door for you and actually exits first to look around to make sure it's safe, and then lets you come out.
Okay. Okay, so then we will head over. I'll either walk or drive, depending on how far it is.
It's a distance enough to drive.
Okay, we'll drive.
Okay. So when you guys get there, the rest of you would get there before she does.
Yeah.
Freddie's probably there actually first.
There is a fit-looking blonde woman with her, wearing a New York Yankees ball cap. A pretty standard like t-shirt, Levi's jeans, sneakers. Blends in really well.
Were the Yankees hot right now?
In the 90s, I don't know if they were or not. I'm not going to look it up. The Yankees for baseball are actually a pretty big name brand. So
What? It's not a Rockies cap?
I don't think the Rockies were around just yet.
Were they?
Actually,
Wait.
No, they may have been.
I think they must have been.
Anyways.
Or I was living in Colorado at that point, actually. Anyway. Okay. So I will walk up to the table and just kind of give them this like exasperated look.
And 91 for the Rockies, by the way.
Okay.
So this is your friend?
This is Sagan. Sagan, these are my friends.
Affirmative. I've been briefed.
So you know who we are.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you like mochas?
I've actually never had one.
Here. I went ahead and ordered for you and
Okay, she
Carmen.
looks to Carmen first.
By all means.
Okay, so I mean she.
What's
she,
the phrase?
she sits down in a way that allows her to watch where you guys are sitting and keep an eye on the environment. And she drinks it, but is careful about doing so.
So, I got woken up pretty early. I have questions.
Me too.
Do you speak any other languages?
Yes, I do.
Russian?
I do, yes.
He'll switch to Russian, and he'll keep it quiet. Do you know where our primary base is?
No, I do not.
Joan's going to be frowning deeply because she doesn't know what they're saying.
All right. And she said that you were here for protection duty?
That is correct, yes. You'd probably pick up enough because the word translates over, Polizia, but she's a part of the science police.
Okay. Are you meant to take back any technology or data? And he's drinking coffee while he's rubbing his face.
She just kind of gives you an odd look, and she's like, no. I'm strictly here for protection detail for Carmen.
Please understand that we are a little bit cautious with who we associate ourselves with, especially after such a what could be considered a diplomatic mission.
Understood.
So we're just making sure that we're on the same page when it comes to what you're doing. Her grandfather understands that we will have places that you cannot go, right?
Affirmative.
All right. So what we'll do, and this is where he'll switch over. What we'll do is we'll have a place where you can stop following her because she'll be with us. And that way you don't violate the duties of your orders. Meanwhile, we have the protection of keeping our hideout low. Our not hideout.
Profile.
Our
office.
Identity.
Office. Yeah. We have a place. we have a way of keeping our office outside of his purview.
Of course.
Is that acceptable?
No, 100%.
Okay. We do recommend wearing civilian clothes while you're here.
That is the intention.
Okay.
I'm just going to lean in a bit. What can you do?
So she checks around real quick to make sure there's not too many people around and just leans in. Doesn't speak up very loudly because she knows where you guys are at. And she says plasma generation and manipulation.
Really? That's freaking cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is it not cool when I do it?
Probably does it with more style.
It's kind of more hot than cool, but not like hot. I mean, like hot.
Okay.
Because that's weird.
Because you like it hot.
He'll rub his face one more. Okay. So
So
Mark,
what do we call you?
Sagan.
Sagan?
Mhm.
So you know who I am already.
Yes, yes, I do. I don't know if you want me to go over your profile, and we're in a public place.
You have my profile?
What's been made available? Yes.
Do you know what I do?
How do you mean, ma'am?
Wonder how much is.
we can get into this type of conversation in a more private location.
No,
Mark,
that's
Mark, I think it is good for her to have access to the building, but non-secure locations. You could even say she's a part of the research team.
Read.
That
I
that would give her the ability to do what she does without seeing private information.
agree.
We did establish that I can telepathically communicate with Mark, right?
Yes.
He will open up telepathy with him.
Okay.
Mark short circuits. No.
She says that she's not here to steal information, so her in the building isn't a bad idea, just not in secure locations. If her powers are only plasma generation, we shouldn't have to worry about it, but at least it gives her an excuse for being there without pissing some overlord with teleportation abilities off. They do not know the location of the vein, or at least that's what she states.
I'll respond mentally like if the channel's still open, that makes sense. At the same time, we may be able to glean information about her powers at Quantum Unlimited.
That's the reason why she might be working with the research team.
Excellent.
All right. So, I do have other business to take care of. You said your name was Sagan?
Sagan. Yes.
Sagan? All right. Be safe. Mark's gonna get you taken care of. And we need to figure out a location for us to have our adequate privacy without so forth and so on and yada yada yada. And he's gonna get up and walk off and let her take the dominant position in the booth where she can see out the front door as well as the kitchen.
Okay.
By the way, I do that all the time. My family hates me for it. If I get to a place early or if I'm the first person sat, every door I can see.
Yeah.
But he'll get up and he's going to head out to the vein.
Okay.
And he starts walking normally. He was just acting up.
Sure, that's fine. And so she just looks around to everybody, sipping on the mocha. You
How you
had
like the
questions,
mocha?
ma'am? Oh, it's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
a contract length on your assignment?
No perceived contract length.
Okay.
I
Do
believe
you
it's,
have a way to communicate with your commander, Sagan?
Oh yes, of course. But it's only on a emergency need basis. I'm strictly here for Ms. Cook.
Understood. Well, if we're done with coffee and muffins, we can allow you to take a simple tour of Quantum Unlimited. If you're going to be following Ms. Cook, you will be following her to where she works, where we work.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for allowing me access. It
Do
saves from
you
having to sneak in.
do you want me to fuss over there?
I drove.
So in other words, we'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sean will poof her and mark over to
Okay, so
on him. Yep.
directly
Oh,
from the cafe?
Not in front of people.
Okay, so you like go around a corner and do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll buy a few more muffins to go and just leave them in the car to take them home later.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, Sean has her muffin with her.
Chocolate chunk.
Yeah.
And now I want muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Good, because
That's why I got the Twix.
you snacked on a Kit Kat earlier, and I was like, now I have to have a Kit Kat. So I'm probably going to go down to Circle K when we're done.
Okay, then we'll head over to Quantum Office Building.
Okay. Quantum mechanics. So you drive across town at this point. You head over. You guys all eventually head over to the main office building. It's bristling with people doing things. There's a shipment coming in of, supplies. Your typical stationery and crap that you gotta pick up. So there's like a van dropping off some stuff, and secretary checking the stuff in, and you got some security guards outside just keep an eye on the place, and there's people on computers, and there's a small area on one of the floors where they have like a small phone bank of like 4 people taking phone calls. It's not super busy. It's more so just to have some people on hand in case calls need to be redirected, or somebody needs like an order for something, or communications with the main office. So, but otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
So I lead them to like a HR so that Sagan can be processed as the newest power consultant, and that'll be
Okay.
why she's here.
Okay, so I mean, she just goes down, the list and gives them the basic details. They get hung up on the last name, and she's like, "No, just Sagan. No last name, just Sagan." And so they, they get it all, filled out. They get her, a badge, and she wears it and whatnot. And she says, "Is there specific attire that your office requires, like business casual, or is this okay?"
Time being, with your particular position as a consultant, that's actually fine. The more comfortable you are, the better.
Okay.
What we do here in this particular division as a power consultant is to actually study superpowered beings and see how their powers act throughout their body, through the environment, to see if we have a better understanding and can possibly help other superpowered beings with their powers, or even replicate the effects using technology.
So she's kind of like looking at the setup. She's like, "Oh, okay. It's kind of similar to what we have."
Interesting.
She looks over at like, one of the machines that you've got that registers, like power fluctuations and whatnot. And she says, "Oh, yeah, you're going to want to upgrade this model."
Yes, admittedly, from where you're at, you have had an impressive leap forward and a head start compared to what happens here in the States.
Yeah, if you want, I can get a list of some of the machines that we use within our science police labs. I think you might be able to get some of the equivalents at Alpine Technologies.
What about those rocket boots?
Those are special requisition, ma'am.
Unfortunate.
Do you have a pair?
I do, yes.
Did you bring him with you?
Of course.
I'd really be interested to see how they work.
Could I try him out?
I'm not inclined to let you try them out, but I would be happy to give a demonstration if that would help. I understand that you have or at least one of you have a deviation that allows for monitoring and perhaps mimicking technology.
Yes. In fact, let me take you to our work lab. You'll have more room.
Okay. So
To
as you
head
guys
to-
are, walk over to the, the lab, she kind of does one of these numbers to the, like reaches down and touches her sneakers, and you see that they suddenly become like high tops.
I have got to get a pair of those.
Like there's just like a little bit of a flicker. Like if you were watching it, you could clearly tell, okay, those were Vans, now they're high tops, but you could see the flicker, but there's a little bit of a flicker of like energy or something, and it goes, and they become looking like, high top looking like shoes.
Mark, we have got to make some.
It's the plan. Perhaps even something superior once we understand the mechanics behind it.
And so as you guys get to there's obviously other scientists and technicians walking around. And as she gets ready to demonstrate, you see that she reaches down to her belt, and then as she does, like there's the best way to put it is it's almost like a wiring sort of forms, and within a matter of a second, maybe a second and a half, it fills out to look like a pistol. Like it started off kind of like
Like an outline.
like an outline, like an orange outline sort of thing, and all of a sudden it formed into like a pistol, and she immediately shouts at one of the technicians to get down on the ground immediately.
I look to the technician she's
And
pointing the gun at.
he's like freaking out, like throws his hands up, and the papers go everywhere, and she's immediately advancing on him.
Carmen?
Did my danger sense go off?
Actually, give me a check.
What do I roll for that?
It's going to be your intuition or danger sense, whichever is better.
They are the same.
Okay, which they should be.
Oh, right.
Basically, when you get danger sense, if your intuition was lower, it automatically bumps it up when you're at character creation.
60.
Now it does.
You want me to do I zap her? What?
And
I'm
with a fluid motion, she throws that guy down face first onto the ground and has the pistol like right to his head.
Do we recognize this guy?
Hey, just lab technician.
Just the normal.
You may have seen him around a couple times. I mean, he's just one of the guys that works here.
What is this about? What's going on?
And she jerks him a second, with her other arm to make sure like he stays down, sort of thing, and has got the it almost has the rifling of the pistol in his eye at this point, just making sure that he's not going to move. And she says, sorry, ma'am, positive identification on an enemy agent.
I'm sorry.
What?
An enemy agent.
Enemy of whom?
Affirmative. And she says, 1 second. And she, she kind of glances off temporarily and then looks back down. Mark, give me an intuition check.
Ugh, 29. It's gonna
20,
be
okay.
nothing.
There was something about the look that she kind of gave, just the absent-minded look, like maybe she got something or was waiting for something, but you're not sure what exactly it was. And she says, yeah, a positive identification, a foreign operative from Senia.
Senia. Interesting.
And so the guy at this point like looks around and he's like, "No, you're lying."
I would like to use let's try the empathy check.
Okay.
So I roll my psyche.
No. Yes. Sorry.
79
Ooh,
on remarkable.
that's gonna be good.
It's yellow.
Okay. So what are you looking for?
Basically, if I'm looking at this dude to find out, like, essentially what he's feeling, aka, like, if he's defensive,
He's very
Flat.
defensive.
angry,
No, he's very defensive, very worried.
is he, does he come off suspicious or just like,
Yes.
okay,
And so she looks to you and she says, "What do you want me to do with him, ma'am?" And he's like, "I'm telling you, I'm not enemy." She goes, "Shut up," and shoves him down harder.
Do you have handcuffs?
Oh, affirmative, ma'am. And so she, like you see a holster kind of appear for the pistol on her belt line, and she reaches back into a pocket, and then you see basically what looks to be probably like something about like as big as this, and it starts unfolding into inhibitor cuffs.
I'm gonna look to Mark and kind of like shrug and nod, like, yeah, there's something weird about this guy.
Thagan, how were you able to identify him?
So she slaps the handcuffs on him, and when she ensures that he's not getting up, she puts a boot to basically the middle, or a boot, well, a foot to the middle of his back, and she says, "Well, we do have a limited database. We do attempt to keep a running tab on secret operatives from Senia. I apologize, I didn't recognize him quicker."
That was terrifying and totally awesome at the same time.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm starting to kind of like her, Carmen.
She definitely seems to be useful. Mark, you have someplace we could put him on ice?
Let's actually take him into the demonstration lab. And as we head there, I have everybody else kind of go about their business. Like, it's just a test, everybody. We're just testing something.
Yeah, okay, so
Don't be
they're
alarmed.
like, okay. So thankfully, it's only like 3 people in this particular section. So it's like, okay, and they kind of, go about doing their things, and she, hoists him up with some authority, and gets him to move.
Open up the door to the area and
Yeah,
make sure everybody's inside.
you've
Close
got
it.
like a disused lab in here. So it's no equipment in it. It's just got like a couple chairs and probably some old printers, that you don't have any use for just yet, that are kind of stacked up in a corner.
Our communicator to inform Freddie that we found a enemy, or that Sagan found an enemy.
Who's the enemy? Am I back at the?
Yeah, by this point you got back to the vein.
All right. Back at the vein. He's gonna go. Okay. Give me a name and where they're from so I can cross-reference it.
Yeah, she'll give him whatever Sigan gave her or gave them as far as information.
She hasn't given any information as of yet. She just positively identified the individual. You've
Well, she
got
said
you've
that he
obviously
was
got the guy's name from his name tag.
Yeah.
right, and she said that it was from
Senia.
yeah. So that's what she'll tell Freddie.
Sinia, is that a name I should know?
Oh yes.
That is, yeah. That is the name of the island nation where other deviants are taken to mine Drixia.
Okay, so it's where Blackout was working with.
Sending slaves.
Possibly.
Theoretically,
Okay.
yes.
All right. I will cross-reference this with. We haven't talked to them in such a long time. What's the name of the company we work for as well?
The Aegis Foundation?
Aegis.
Ah, yeah, okay.
I'll cross-reference with Aegis. You said his name was XYZ from Cinia, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll cross-reference that right away. Is he inhibited or is he just in handcuffs?
Man, you should have seen her. It was totally awesome.
Cuffs or inhibitor collar?
Inhibitor cuff. And
All
I
right.
want her boot.
I don't do technology, you know that.
Just putting it out there.
All right, out. He will actually call Aegis and see if the name pops for him.
Okay. So you give a call and Aegis Foundation, this is Nene.
Hi, Nene. It's Freddie. How you doing?
Oh, hey Freddie. I haven't heard from you for a couple days. You guys were like off the grid or something? Would you go hiking?
We were doing a diplomatic mission more or less to New Prussia. We went out there to see if if Quantum Unlimited might build a branch out there, and I went out there to test the water. You know, new nations, sometimes they put such a strain on the water supply that it's just devastating to local wildlife.
Sure. How
Everything
can I
on
help?
that was above board.
Okay.
One of the new subjects for the powers research that we're doing at Quantum Unlimited, one of the new people identified him as this agent from Cinia. Does this name come up for you?
That's probably going to take a couple minutes. So let me see if I can get any hits. Hold, please.
Thank you.
That's some nice Kenny G flowing in there in the background. And she comes
Hey.
up, she says, no, this is, that name comes up. He's from, Colorado City, United States.
Hey, Shion, what does that guy look like?
Give them a description.
He relays it.
Okay.
Actually, she'll do better. She'll take a picture of him and send it to him.
How are you going to do that?
1994.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Damn it. Okay.
She whips out
You'll
her,
pass along the description.
she whips out her Instamatic and then, you know, then takes a picture
My
with a Polaroid,
Polaroid.
and then teleports a picture to you. He looks like this.
I want to make sure that he this isn't some type of double take type of black op operation to make us think that this person is ingratiating themselves with us harder and faster than what they should be.
Oh, okay. Well, I still need to look into it. But I mean, you relay the information what the guy looks like, and she's like, yeah, I'm looking at the DMV picture, and yeah, I mean that sounds like the guy.
All right. Can you run it through? I know it might take some time, but we'll just keep the guy on ice for now. That way if he is an agent for Cinia, we can at least not have him suddenly trying to blow up a building or something stupid like that.
Are you gonna need agent assistance?
No, we already got them restricted and inhibitor collars.
Oh,
Inhibitor cuffs.
wow, you guys are fast.
Yeah, I was on my way to my base and they called me up.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need me, just let me know.
Will do. And can you see if the CEO will have some have some time for us in the next week?
You're wanting me to put you on his schedule? Sure. Let me take a look real quick. And you hear her like humming as she's flipping, through some like manual pages and whatnot. Okay. He has an opening at 10 on Friday, which is like 3 days from now.
All right, that'll work for us. If not the rest of my team, at least for me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. I've got you penciled in. And I will call you if he happens to cancel or something. Although he doesn't really ever cancel. He's usually pretty punctual like that.
Thank you so much, Nene. You have a great day.
No problem. Totem pole out. She hangs up. Click.
Shion.
Yeah.
Tell Sagan to keep him on ice for now.
Okay.
He did not pop up as an agent for
Aegis.
Aegis, and because of that, we don't want to make sure. Just let her know. Keep him on ice for now while we investigate his status.
Okay. It's ready.
What was that?
It's shown.
I'm horrible with names. I'm trying.
Okay. I'll forgive you this time. Okay. And she will give them the information that Freddie
Okay.
gave her.
While he's in the mainframe.
Mainframe is active. Coffee is ready.
Thank you for that, mainframe. Did we already restore access to the vein to Meredith McCall?
Affirmative.
All right. When she arrives, I want to be notified by my communicator.
Mainframe will notify you by your communicator.
All right. Thank you. She should be arriving either late tonight or early tomorrow. I just want to make sure someone's here to greet her. I'm gonna go get some coffee, and I'm gonna go get some coffee.
Understood.
It's going to be coffee 24/7. He didn't specify.
So as you guys are kind of bantering back and forth about, keeping the guy on ice, she looks to, Carmen. She says, permission to make him talk. And he's like, starting to look kind of worried.
Keep it humane.
I will keep it as humane as possible. So her hand lights up in like this purplish energy kind of flickering off. And so he's like, oh, and she says, all right, Gene Joke, time to talk. And so he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so she says, of course. And then starts tracing a finger down the back of his arm. And so he starts to scream and you can see his flesh start to sear.
Okay. That's not what I meant.
And so he starts to scream immediately and says, all right, I'll talk.
Please do.
Can't complain about the results.
And she says, what is your real name? And so he, rattles off a completely different name.
Don't have such a girl crush at this moment.
And she says, would one of you run this particular name through whatever database you just confirmed that with?
Freddie?
I'm here.
Run such and such name.
Mainframe.
Affirmative. Mainframe is active.
Look for this name, since we're not actually using the guy's name.
Okay. So he pulls, he ends up, pulling up a name and he says, I have X number of names listed in the white pages.
He calls Aegis again.
So, Nene picks back up. She's like, "Oh, Freddy, you can't get enough of me, huh?"
Not today. Hey, the guy under said he might have given a false name. Can you check this name?
Okay. Give me a couple minutes. And she says, "Oh, Yahtzee. I have got an address for Senia."
Okay.
I don't know if that'll help or if that's even legit, but yeah, that name pings.
All right. Can I get that address real quick just so I can do some backtracing on this?
Sure thing. Just give me your email address.
That's right. I give it to her.
Okay. So she's like typing in at earthlink.net. Okay.
You would use Earthlink.
AOL.
So she, she fires that off.
Thank you so much, Nene.
Oh, not
eventually
a problem.
Eventually I'm gonna have to take you out to lunch for all the good work you do for us.
Oh, 100%. I am all about the food.
All right. Bye.
Nene out. Click. So, at mainframe at this point says, "You have an email."
Thank you, mainframe.
And it's just obviously a simple email with the name and the address.
Sean, ask him if his address is 123 Elm Street.
Yo, dude, is your address 123 Elm Street?
And so he kind of looks up. He looks up at Sagan, who not so politely sets her hand down right next to his face and lights her energy back up. So he's like staring at Shone through the flickering energy. And he says, "Not anymore. It's an old address."
What's your new address?
And so,
is it in Colorado?
He hesitates for a second and he, rattles off another address, but it's also in Senia.
Sean relayed that. Yep. So he's at blah, blah, blah. He's at 453 Walnut.
He goes over to the computer and replies to Nene's email. Update to this.
Okay.
Well, his new address is going to be the Clink, Strongford, Colorado.
Yeah, the city specifically is Iwasaki.
He's a spy in your company. If you guys want to take him in, you do what you want to do with him. But apparently he is a Senian citizen, so that is legit. That's verified.
Shouldn't we find out what all he found out and transmitted?
That's up to you guys. I am maintaining my plausible deniability by not knowing what y'all are doing.
Right.
I'm going to train now. And he's going to spend the 100 points to work on not generation, but plasma manipulation now.
Okay.
Oh, I need to do my practice too.
No. I did not succeed with the 76.
Okay.
So, Carmen, since she's pretty much for prison now, Freddie said do with him what we want to do.
I don't know, what's the protocol for this?
I don't know, but should we find out what he knows and what he's transmitted?
I walk up to the. So is this guy like kind of like he's been forced to the ground right now, or is he like sitting in a chair? Or
on a counter? Yeah. He's like
Okay.
bent. He's basically bent over a counter, like face down. She's got one hand shoving him down, and the other hand was like resting fist style in front of his face with the energy,
All right.
with his hands, of course, behind his back, cuffed.
I hold one of his arms and I look up to Sagan and I say, I would appreciate it if you'd let go. I'm strong enough to hold him.
Okay, so
If you need that order from Carmen, please ask for it.
she looks to Carmen. Okay, so she steps back.
I lift him up so that he's not like being forced down. I take him over to a chair,
Okay.
plop him down so he's sitting in it, and I just stand in front of him, his cuffs are still on. Why are you in my company?
And so now he's a little hesitant to talk.
I'll give a nod to Sagan to light it up.
Okay, so she lights up her, her energy again, and so he's still a little hesitant to talk, and so she, at this point, points down to his feet, letting a burst of energy fly out, which burns part of his shoe to his foot. Not obviously not a whole lot of damage, more superficial because you could still pull your shoe off, but it's kind of smart, basically reminding him of the situation, he's in. And she just tells him, talk, Gene Joke. And, and so he's like, he at that point, after he, stops biting down on his teeth from, the pain, he says that he was, his assignment was he was brought into Strongford to monitor deviant activity. And since the positioning of this company changed to monitoring and assisting and possibly helping to improve SPBs and the study, Senia embedded an agent here to monitor that progress and to report findings back.
How much have you told them?
Everything from the start of the project.
How many other agents are here?
And so he's, hesitant again, and she just goes, and she sighs at this point, and then looks to Carmen. And she goes, oh, okay. And so then she turns to her, she rematerializes the pistol at this point. The pistol starts glowing with that purple energy. It looks like it's channels her plasma. And she says, Mr. Onett, you may want to stand back.
I'd rather you not discharge the gun again in my building, Sagan. I turn to the guy. You need to learn faster, Iwasaki. You do not have control here. Be reasonable.
Oh, the Iwasaki was the name of the city, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This guy was.
Yeah.
So whatever his name is.
Right.
Fred.
And
Be
so he's
reasonable.
And so he's like looking around. And he says, I'm the only one.
I'm gonna do an empathy check on that.
Okay.
78
Okay.
unremarkable. That's yellow.
Roughly the same check that you had last time. So he's unsure. So you don't get the impression he's lying, but he's definitely unsure.
So you're saying there may be more.
But I don't know.
You're not in contact with any others?
No, that's not how we operate.
Who do you report to?
I report directly back to, the Seni authorities.
How frequently?
How do you report to them?
Yeah. How do you report? How frequently?
usually weekly, and by coded email.
Can we get those emails?
Have you been using Quantum Unlimited resources to send this communiques?
No, I have not.
Where have you been sending them from?
Home.
And perhaps we should visit your domicile. Should we expect anybody else there?
No, it's just me. He's like looking around,
I looked at
nervous
Carmen.
and whatnot. Oh, you looked at Carmen for what?
Yeah. Like her to do what she does. And
Okay,
looks like she's
so
gonna do it again.
at that point, she, she makes an adjustment on the pistol, and you hear a bass thump. Looks like the plasma comes out concussively, and it smacks him right in the kneecap. And it has the sound of like a baseball bat. It's a very loud crack. It's like, oh. There's a little bit of a burn mark on his pants, but it doesn't burn through. If anything, it looked like it was superheated concussive force, which is an interesting twist. It probably should have just burned him.
I got a 38 on my roll, which is barely a green,
For
but
what?
still green. For another empathy check.
Okay. You don't detect complete truth.
What is at your domicile that you're not telling us?
And at this point, Sagan gets a little bit closer and aims at the same kneecap, but a little bit on the side. Obviously a more tender area. As you ask that question, he's like, okay. He says, I don't have anyone there, but there is something there. Just
be specific.
It's a standard protection drone. And so Sagan goes, okay, yeah, I know what that is. It's a security drone that they typically use to guard the miners. And she glares at him.
Is it something we need to be concerned about?
Possibly, yes. But if it's in a civil area, a rural area like this, it's going to be disguised.
Can you take it down?
And she smirks.
Gosh, I really like her.
You want to keep her?
Can we keep her? Can we?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the vein, boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Run the obstacle course.
Of course. Yep.
Well, 4 people torture a suspect.
And so, she's like, it shouldn't be that difficult for me to find him. I do have a piece of equipment that will scan for that kind of technology. It is what it is.
You can teleport us there.
Oh, good.
Your call, Carmen.
I look to Mark.
We need to know what he sent and when.
I agree. So you guys ready to travel?
We are not outed at the company, right? They don't know that we
Nope.
have powers.
That is correct. The only one that is quote unquote outed is your roommate.
Okay.
Because that's why you sent her there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's go out the front door.
Seriously? There's nobody here.
Are there not?
Oh, there are people here, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not in that room with them.
Not in that room, no.
Let's make an exit and then go from there.
Fine.
Ma'am, would you permit me to scan him first before we leave?
Scan him for what?
And so she pulls out a device just to confirm.
Sure.
Okay, so it's a small little device, looks almost kind of like a miniature Geiger counter sort of thing. And so she smacks him upside the head when she gets a ping from it. Meta active.
Meta what?
Meta active. She says it's a term that's used where they physically turn on the deviant gene.
That's something you can turn on and off?
It's a perverse way to do it, but yes.
I didn't know you could do that.
A lot of people don't know you can do that.
But he's inhibited, right?
That's correct. That's why I threw out the inhibitor cuffs just in case.
Okay. Can't do nothing.
If we head out the front door, we're going to be carrying the suspect in a suspicious manner.
I'd
can
say we
fix that.
teleport.
I can fix that.
True. Should we obtain
Should
Freddy
probably,
as well?
yeah, let's invite him to come along. Should probably gag him. Not Freddy.
Sometimes. Do you want me to go get Freddy and just meet you guys there?
I mean, we don't have to. I just think it would be wise if we were seen leaving the building before we just disappear.
Okay, I'll just have Freddy meet us there. Fly. Freddy? Freddy, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, meet us at whatever, Columbus Street.
In costume or out?
We're not in costume. But we've got the guy's hideout and he's been transmitting information back to his superiors. We're gonna go find out what he has sent.
On my way.
Okay. See you soon. Okay, Freddy's coming.
Ma'am,
Excellent.
do you have a way to get us out without this being seen?
We'll use my illusion to just make him invisible. And somebody can if we can carry him out, then I'll make that person invisible.
Okay, so she promptly pistol whips him to knock him out.
That'll work.
Takes off his shoe, the good one. Removes his sock. It jams it into his mouth, puts his shoe back on, and now we can basically get him out, and he's gagged.
Okay, good. Do you want me to roll for that?
No.
Okay.
So you guys calmly at this point exit the room using your illusory power to make it look like you're just walking out as opposed to carrying somebody. And walk out. You essentially walk back out the front door about 20 minutes after you guys got there. Turn a corner someplace nondescript nearby the building.
Down the alley.
Yeah.
And then from there you meet I'm trying to call him Willie for some reason. Freddie. At this small house that's on the outskirts of town.
He does have his outfit underneath and his mask in his one of his cargo pockets.
Sure. So when you guys get there, Sagan pulls out her device again and she says, I'm picking up a reading. There's definitely something here. It's on the inside.
Okay.
Sagan, do you know what those machines' capabilities typically are?
Yes, they have offensive capabilities that rival many SWAT teams when fully posed. They also have an inhibitor ray to keep us in check.
What are their
You know
weaknesses?
It's a scientific device. Electromagnetic pulses can disable them. Sheer raw power can disable them. If it's here and it's hidden, it likely does not have full use of its offensive capabilities or armament. It's probably designed to hide as some sort of element inside the house.
Does it have scanning abilities?
Yes.
So
If we get too close, it will register us.
I'll take point. I look in the guy's pockets to see if he's got like keys on him.
Mm-hmm. He sure does.
Yeah. Take those. I activate my reflection ability, so now I'm like glowing blue around myself.
Okay.
Go up to the door, look for the right key, try it out, see if I can unlock his front door.
Unlock the door, no problem.
While he's doing that, I'm going around the back and watching the back as well.
Okay, no problem. So it's
I'm not going into the yard. I'm just walking around it.
Okay, yeah. So not getting near the house, to just walking around and casing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go inside. It's a nice 2-bedroom house. It's got some, decent furnishings like you would expect somebody in this guy's pay scale to have. There's nothing personal in here, like no family pictures or anything of that nature. Nice TV.
So it's like a model home.
Basically, yeah.
Look around just to see if anything seems like out of the ordinary, like if this thing is hiding itself, if it's making a mistake, and I can tell it's one of these things is not like the other.
Give me an intuition check.
60 on excellent, which is green.
Okay. So you're looking around. The microwave looks a little odd.
Microwave.
There's something a little off about it.
The microwave may be the defensive mechanism, I say outside. And I walk towards it a little bit.
Okay. That doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Should we just shoot it?
Let her thing.
Sagan?
Yes, ma'am.
How would you take out the device?
I lack EMP grenades at this point.
Yeah, but I can do something. Short it out.
Then that would be my recommendation, but you may want to pull your brother out.
Yeah. Mark, move so I can zap it.
Yeah. Walk out and get out of her way.
Question, Michonne, can you make that low yield?
Yeah, I can do anything with it.
Okay, because they're attempting to retrieve what is probably a computer in there. If you are too wide with your dispersal, you may fry it.
No, I'm just going to fry the microwave.
I was going to say, is the computer in the microwave?
No.
Oh.
We could always unplug the computer before I do it.
There, meaning in the house.
Yeah, it's in the house. EMPs are a radius effect.
Do we want to unplug the computer before I do this?
And we get in there and
Do we have any way of shielding the computer before we do this?
do you want to try teleporting the computer out?
No, don't do that, because that causes disruptions in the magnetic field, which could erase the data. We've experienced this before with other teleportation.
Oh,
I could go inside, grab the microwave, and throw it outside. Would you be ready to fire?
Yeah.
On my mark, then.
Okay.
So Sagan
Okay.
at this point is keeping an eye out for looky-loos.
what time of day is it? Still like
It's
mid-morning, lunchish?
It's late afternoon.
Okay.
So I got
You
a.
know what? I could probably do an illusion to, I don't know, make us invisible or something.
Okay. So you're going to make everybody vanish. Poof.
Yeah.
Which you are
We'll do
used to doing at this point.
Do you want me to roll for that?
No.
Okay.
I got a 58 on amazing.
What's your agility?
My agility is unearthly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Mark, you grab the microwave, and with
Yeah.
a quick yank, the cord comes out, but you are automatically see it. It starts like unfolding itself, getting active like the moment you grab it, and you
Okay.
lob it. Go ahead and give me an agility check.
Yeah. 83 on even at a typical, that's actually pretty good. That's yellow.
Okay, so you shot put that thing out the front door, and like lightning from Big Trouble in Little China, Shone just like points at it and hits it with the an electromagnetic burst. But I mean, the shock itself struck it so hard that it blows up. Just and it just reduced to components.
Nice.
Excellent shot.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, you can go do your thing with the computer.
Yeah. Search the house, go to the different bedrooms looking for a computer setup.
Okay. Yeah, there's a computer set up in the bedroom. Yeah,
All right.
in the master bedroom.
Can you break his passcodes?
Gonna find out. Yeah. Fire it up and see what type of access I can get to any of the emails that he sent.
Okay, so you fire it up, and you are currently blocked by Windows password.
I see if I can bypass that and see if I can bypass that to access the computer.
Give me a reason check.
Here I've got a reason of amazing with computers. That would then bump
Monstrous.
that up to monstrous. Oh, 27, but that does give me a green.
Okay. So you're like, oh, this is so silly. G-O-D. You started off with like the foremost, used passwords for super users sort of thing.
Mhm.
The trick from hackers.
You're right.
And your G-O-D. And so yeah, you get in no problem.
Excellent. All right. Pull up, first I go to whatever he was using for emails and check that out.
Okay.
Should we all go inside?
We are.
Were
I'm
we?
still outside patrolling.
Yeah, I thought we were.
We were
outside.
searching all the rooms.
Okay.
So Freddy is still outside, kind of casing the place. Everybody else goes inside.
Okay.
Can I do an intuition check and see if I can't find any cameras that might be out here?
You sure can. Go ahead.
That's going to be a 67.
Okay. So what's your intuition?
Remarkable.
Okay, that's definitely good enough. So you do spot some surveillance cameras on the house pointed out.
We're on camera.
Kiss off camera.
So I try to then see if this computer has access to those cameras.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Is it like live streaming it somewhere, or is it just saving the data to?
Oh yeah, no, it
like
doesn't
hard
have that.
drive?
It doesn't have that kind of technology. So it's just it's all local.
Okay. All right.
He can turn his metagene on and off, but he can't stream the video.
Because it's 1994.
So
They could
Well,
probably
he-
do that in New Prussia.
probably.
Yeah,
Um,
there's still technologies that they can do, but you have to keep in mind that some technologies like that, like what you're making a joke about, isn't readily available. That would be, if let's put it this way, that would be like super high tech at this point to have that in a house.
So, like,
So while not
government
impossible,
use.
yeah, while not impossible, it's not something they're just going to give to every agent because that's going to light up big time. Like everybody's looking around on like, it's like, why exactly does that house have
Use-
terabytes of information flying out of it when everybody else is on like 36.6 and 56 or at 56.8 or whatever, bit.
That's fair enough.
AOL, you've got mail.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
you get into it no problem. You open up his little, Eudora program.
While Mark is doing that, Sean is going to be searching his room,
Okay.
looking for anything of interest.
Okay. You've got clothing here. You've got, most everything you would find in a normal place. I'll get
No passports or.
I'll get to that in a second. So you
Okay.
pull up his email, and you can see, yeah, true to form, he got hired on with your new hiring phase.
Okay.
Like within a week of the announcement that you were forming that, when you were making the hiring, he got in that hiring phase. So he's been there from pretty much the start.
Okay. And just looking through the security cam data, if at all possible, even like fast forwarding a little bit, do I see like any other suspicious figures ever like entering or leaving his house?
Nope. It looks like it was just for personal security.
Okay. I then go ahead and erase that information, the video footage. That way they don't have us doing our thing on there.
Okay.
And I see if I can like copy any and all emails he has sent, especially to and from his, Xenia handlers to whatever media he's got nearby.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Don't forget to quarantine the information. You would know that.
Yeah. That too.
You don't have any devices that you can copy that down to as of this point. So if anything, you could probably send the emails to an account you would use as like a dummy account, and then have it have a computer scan it for viruses and whatnot after that before you open them.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Because presumably it's going to be safe from here, if you're sending it off to someplace else. It's just you want to make sure that you're scanning it for safety purposes from any new device.
Right. Okay. Looking through the emails, do we get any like other inkling of their ultimate plans, or is it just this basic, like they just have this agent just checking like what's their ultimate goal? What's this
Um,
ancient's actual mission?
You get comments that tie it to some sort of remnant faction. It's specifically called that. That was in league with Blackout. And it's making past tense references to that operation being a bust. So they were going to attempt to use this to get more information on deviants to bring into the country.
Okay. Do we
In
have
essence, you
any?
basically set up a mailer list for them, for people who checked in, for that. So thankfully, there aren't that many people that they've been able to report yet. But you've got like 10 people that are on that list, including Michelle.
Is there anything in there that indicates how they would be trying to like nab these people?
No, nothing like that. He's just this. You get the impression he's just reporting finding. He's not here for any sort of nabbing or whatnot. That's a completely separate operation.
Okay, gotcha. All right, then yeah, then I just look through if there's any other interesting information on his computer that might help with what he's doing beyond just the emails. Anything particular I can think of. So I go ahead and let everybody know on the communicator essentially what I've found already.
Sure.
Blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Taking
And
the computer with us.
you do end up finding, Shone, you do end up finding his password, which
Okay.
just reconfirms, the findings.
Okay. But I don't find like any notebooks, notes, or stuff in it.
No, nothing like that. Everything was done on the computer.
So what are we going to do with the computer? Are we going to take it with us, or am I going to short it out? What else? What's
So this is Justin speaking to Dale directly. You could always pull the hard drive or any extra hard drives it has and take it back. There might be other data you didn't initially catch. This is only 94, so we're not dealing with gigs or terabytes yet. And that way you'd have full access to all of the data that he might have been storing elsewhere that you didn't get on a cursory look.
Sure. Yeah. So
That's part of computer forensics.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll pop the tower open, make sure everything's shut down first, all that, pop the tower open, get any and all hard drives that he's got on there.
Okay.
Remove
Yeah,
them.
it's got 2.
Okay.
going to pocket the passport?
Okay.
Does he look not suspicious, but like distinctive? Like, we don't know much about Senia. Like, are they ethnically different at all?
No. Stenia, Senia,
Especially since they're importing a lot of people right now.
yeah, by background, they were colonized largely by whites, Europeans, or whatnot.
Okay.
It has a very similar background to the Philippines, which that's where it borders off of.
Okay.
But unlike the Philippines, it didn't really have a native population. It was largely, open and abandoned. It didn't really have much there until settlers started coming over.
Okay.
So there is a mix, but it's more white predominant. So a lot of them could pass for European.
Okay.
All right. So I walk out into the main area of the house. I have both hard drives from the computer, and I have sent other emails to a dummy account we can access securely later. It seems that he is here more for
Stop
reconnaissance.
talking out loud.
Why? There's nobody else here, and we've already destroyed his robot.
Are there cameras on this house? There could be cameras on other houses. People could be listening at their windows. We are not in a private situation.
How many is he like in a regular neighborhood, or is he just like on the outskirts with a couple of acres?
It's on the outskirts, but it's not like on an acreage or anything like that. There are other houses in the vicinity.
Aegis?
Yes, that would be where we should relinquish our new friend.
Chone, could you do the honors?
Yeah, but
Sagan throws him up over her shoulder.
Mark can't go with us the hard drive.
Correct.
So how about me, Carmen, and Segan go to turn him in, and Freddie can get Mark back to the office.
Back to the office?
Excellent.
Okay.
I move physically far enough away so that teleporting won't mess up the drives if they would.
Sure.
And I teleport all of us to the Aegis compound, whatever.
Okay, so the offices of the Aegis Foundation.
Yep.
So
Right in front of Nene.
will they actually have similar defenses set up around the offices? So you'll have to actually go to the bottom floor and go up the elevator.
Okay.
But that's where we'll stop for tonight for the game because it's almost a full 3 hours of playing.
Wow, it didn't feel like it.
Can I try my power stunt quick?
No.
I figure I would have tried to do it when I got
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I haven't had a chance.
Go ahead.
The narrative. 001.
So that would be no. That's a 1.
Ouch.
You got the lowest possible roll.
Yeah.
Change dice.
All right.
We didn't do a lot of rolling tonight, so
No, we
I
didn't.
don't think dice had time.
Well, there was plenty of rolling, but it was role play.
Yeah. We stayed in character.
No, good. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun.
Yep.
Lots more revelations and surprises.
Yeah, Sean's got a major girl crush going.
Nice.
He's got a new best friend.
He could have at least sent like a handsome strapping bodyguard.
That's what Sean kind of thinking. Well, why don't I have one?
Why
isn't he like hunty?
Why would he do that? Think about it.
I can't do
Courtesy. I'm going to send a strapping young man to my granddaughter.
Right.
With the hopes that he's going to protect her. No, we're going to send somebody she's probably not going to be interested in to protect her.
Well, I mean, with the strapping young man, protection might be involved, but it's not going to be in the way that was intended.
Right.
Yeah. All of a sudden, she gets Kevin Costner to her Whitney Houston. The bodyguard.
Yeah.
So anyways, so thank you guys again for playing tonight. Those of you who tuned in and said hi. Our next game will be July the 9th.
Gosh, you can't believe it's going to be July already.
I will be out.
I know. Yep. Brittany will be out. She will be in Alaska. So hopefully we'll have the rest of you here. And we will pick back up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
All right.
Like end the stream.